The number one story I always tell people is I have this one girl. Her name's Emma. She goes to Loudonville. She's a senior this year. And last year, the Norway girls basketball team went on a big run down to the state championship game. So Emma, she reaches out to me about 6-7 days before the game, and she's like, "Hey, can I shoot the game with you, Ben?" I'm like, "Yeah, Emma, let's go. Let's do it. Just have your parents drop you off, whatever." And she shows up because she hurt her shoulder. In a sling, it's like this, and I'm thinking, how the heck is she gonna? The whole time she's one hand in the camera, sling up, taking pictures. Like, that's the stuff that, like, when I see people do that type of stuff, it instantly is like, okay, they're dogs.
Welcome back to Torch Talk, the show where we spotlight bold local leaders growing their businesses and communities with grit and purpose. Today's guest is Ben Nichols, a versatile photographer whose career spans from serving as a U.S. Army photographer to capturing high-stakes collegiate athletics. He specializes in sports photography and videography, while his work with Wayne County Sports reaches millions each year. Welcome, Ben. I can't wait to jump into all of the things.
Very excited.
All the things
very,
you
very
do.
excited.
Okay, so, I mean, that kind of covered what you do, but tell us, like, how did you end up where you're at now?
So it basically all started when I was in high school. I was a junior at the time, and I was sitting in my basement. It was about 3-4 days before like the junior football season started, and I came up with this idea of starting this like local sports page type deal. But back when I was in middle school.
Where did you go to school?
Northwestern.
Okay. Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Not real big Waynedale fans.
Oh man.
And then well, we actually started a riot at Waynedale once.
Oh no.
That was pretty fun.
What year did you graduate?
2021.
Okay.
So not that long ago.
Never in my kids' era, so that's okay.
So I come up with this idea when I was in middle school, and I was like, I'm gonna start this like middle school sports page, and it was called Small Town Sports at first, but then like I kind of fizzed out and didn't really want to do it anymore. So then one day there's this really good looking girl. She was a girls basketball player at Worcester, and I'm like, I really had the confidence to talk to people at the time, and I was like, what if I start a sports page and I DM her and I try to get an interview, I get her number, talk to her some more, and like that was the whole original like goal. And now she's married, and I'm stuck with this sports page.
Oh my goodness! Always a girl who would inspire a teenage boy to do something next level.
Yeah, and then all throughout like the rest of my junior senior year, obviously there was COVID and stuff, so it kind of like took a little bit of a hit on that. And then we graduated from school, and I was supposed to go to the Army, and I couldn't get into the Army. And then I was actually at work, and I was in the Porta John using my phone because that was the only time I could get on it. And my Army recruiter just happened to call me, and he said, "Hey, you're going to the Army." So then that's another big that's just like the overall like broad perspective, if you want to call that.
So what did that look like? You went into the Army. Like, what is that whole journey?
So it all started at the time. One of my really good friends' girlfriend, she was at the College of Worcester, and she was a senior at the time. So I'm like, okay, I need somebody I can trust to continue to do this. And I'd sent her all this stuff. I gave her all these emails of people that she could reach out to while I was at basic training because I wouldn't have my phone. So then what happened was I went to basic training, and you could only get your phone every Sunday for like 30 minutes. So throughout the week, I made this like in a notebook. I wrote down every football schedule and every game, and I would like kind of pre-think like, okay, here's what happened on last Friday. Now I'm going to try to predict what happens on Friday, so she can put like something together and like make it like sound like it's not losing its flow, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. So that every Sunday I'd be on the phone with my grandparents. I'd be on my phone trying to type up something really, really fast, text all my friends back, and try and tell everybody, oh, hey, I'm still alive. And then I'd be there doing scores, and I'd send her a piece of like a picture of what I had, and then she would have to do it. Now she did an incredible job on it. It wasn't to the job that I normally do, but she kept it going throughout football.
And that was just to keep the Wayne County Sports page alive while you were in basic training. Yep. Okay, what happened after basic?
I went to AIT school, and then you would get your phone Friday through Sunday. So then by that time it was I didn't really have to worry about anything unless it was like a Monday through Thursday event. And at the time, there was nothing really that crazy going on.
What is AIT school? Where did you go? Was that local?
So I went to Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri. That's where I did my basic training at. And then I went to my school training, which is where I went to become a horizontal construction engineer, which is basically like it's like heavy machiners.
Yeah.
That's what I did. So I drove bulldozers, all that good stuff. All like the big heavy equipment. So that's what I did.
You're a well-rounded individual
Oh
then.
yes, I was also an electrician prior to that.
Okay.
So.
But you have latched on to media as your like favored outlet, kind of like what you want to do now with the rest of your life.
Yes. So that actually started. I got hurt pretty bad in the Army, and then they had to find like a way for me to like kind of pass the time until I was all done and everything. And so I went home one weekend and I bought a $175 camera from this pawn shop up in Barberton.
Mm-hmm.
So at the time, I thought I was kind of like scamming this old guy. I thought, man, he's giving me that deal. And then I got home and I told my grandma, I said, hey, I spent my last $175 on that camera over there. And then she kind of like, she wasn't really too happy because I'm just some broke Army kid who drove back and home almost every weekend. It was about a 7-hour drive from Tennessee here.
Mm-hmm.
And when I got back down to Tennessee, I had this camera and I didn't know what the heck I was doing with it. And I just it just sat there for a little bit. So
it is really confusing. Yeah. I've tried my hand at a few. They're definitely in my environment. And I am usually like, I don't understand these settings. This is wild. Like the patience to learn, actually, there's a lot of technique to it. So was that self-taught? Did you just end up practicing? Did you take classes? What did you do to figure all of that out?
It was all self-taught. The biggest thing that I learned, when I was getting into it, the number one thing I wanted to do was shoot college sports. So I told my grandma, I said, I need some help. She's like, what do you need help with? I said, I need a sports lens. And she kind of like, well, how much is it? Like $100? And I'm like, no, it's like $1,300. She kind of was like, if you don't do anything with that lens ever, we're going to have some big problems. So she helped me out. She gave me a little bit of a push, but then I was in this like spot where it's like, okay, I can't go home every Friday weekend just to shoot sports. I'm going to lose out on a lot of money. It's a lot of time. So down in the Army, we're down in the South, like Tennessee, Alabama, Georgia, all those areas. I sent an email to every college, whether it was D3, D2, D1, within a 2-hour area of our military base. 0 colleges got back to me, except this one college. Murray State University. It's in Southwest Kentucky. It was an hour there and an hour back. So I'm thinking, let's do this. Mm-hmm. So I said, hey, can I come out to do a football game? And they were like, yeah, that's cool. Yeah, come on out. And I met this guy. His name was Scott. He's one of those dudes that I think I'm going to remember for the rest of my life because I don't think without that interaction, I don't think I'm sitting here. I don't think I'm doing a lot of things. And he gave me that first little break into like the start of my journey. And at the time, he was the director of media at Murray State, so he didn't really think anything of me, if that makes sense. Like he's like, oh, this dude just has a camera. He just wants to come just take pictures. But first day I get there, I don't have a battery or an SD card for my camera. I showed up, drove an hour there, and I took my phone out and started doing video, and it was kind of bad. So. Mm-hmm.
What did he say or do that was super impactful to you? It's sticking with you now.
Is giving me that chance. A lot of people wouldn't give me a chance, and he was the only person that ever got back to me. And I don't think really without that, like I said, I'm not where I am, because after all that happens, the football season had ended, and I'd come back home and I wanted to do video originally. And I was like, man, I hate this video stuff. So I come back down after we got done with Christmas, all that stuff. And I texted Scott again. I said, Scott, I want to come take some basketball pictures. She's like, heck yeah, let's go. Come on over. So he gave me a pass, and the pass didn't have a game or anything. It was just an all access season pass. So I'm thinking, okay, this is weird. Why is there no, he's like, here you go. You're going to have to wear this. And I'm thinking, what's this for? And then shooting one home game led to another one, to, hey, we're going to Nashville. You coming? Hey, we're going to Indiana State. You coming? Hey, we're going to Carbondale, where it's in the middle of a blizzard, but where we're going, you coming? And so that relationship at Murray State, especially with all those photographers there, because all those photographers were really older than me, and they taught me a lot of stuff. I ever had questions or anything, they were really smart too. So those are like another contributing factor towards like how I got my style, where I came from. Like I will always credit those photographers at Murray State for helping me get to where I'm at.
How long were you doing? I'm assuming you started that unpaid.
Oh yeah, it was all unpaid the whole time.
The whole
time.
Travel, you had to cover your own expenses just to go.
Well, So then after the basketball season had ended and stuff, the track coach, I went to one track meet and they don't have a men's track team there. So it's an all girls team. And they were like, hey, would you want to go travel with us? And me, I'm thinking, shoot, let's go. But what I didn't realize is that we went down to Ole Miss, way down south of Mississippi. And I got down there and the coach is like, hey, where you staying at tonight? I said, I was going to drive back home. He's like, no, 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 no. We got to get you a hotel room. So they paid for my food, they paid for my hotel, all that good stuff. We went up to Kentucky and that was one of those really it was a really short time because the season's not that long. So it was like one of those really fun times. And those girls were always really respectful and everything. So Murray State was just a huge, big, giant, little tiny chunk in my life, but it was a big chunk. So.
Okay, I want to keep going down the career path because I know you've done a lot of other cool things, but you said something that made me have a question. So you said that's where I got my vibe or like your style from. So like we talk about this a lot. We're a marketing agency. We actually were just talking about this before you came in about how different photographers or videographers have like a style that's true to them. What would you say, or have you ever had a situation where you've had to shoot like for a team and their vibe's different than yours? Is everybody choosing you based off of your vibe or your style? And how do you really differentiate that? Like, so we have unique clients. We want to make sure that we're always representing them with their style, not so much like we're creating, like you can tell that's fierce content. We want them to each have their own individual kind of brand recognition, if that makes sense. So like, have you ever had that with the team? A lot of times sports media does have like a very consistent kind of like edgy vibe to it, but have you ever had a situation where you've been asked to do something different? Or
actually I have yet to have somebody actually tell me like that what I'm doing isn't working for them. I think that's one of the best parts because I can adapt really quick and I can do different styles. Like from my sports portraits and stuff, I can make that a real raw, gritty, real like kind of like a sports portrait. But then if I go do like regular photos, I can go from like being a mom photographer vibe. I can give
mom photographer.
Yeah.
What is a mom photographer vibe?
Really rich, orange, brown, yellow colors.
Okay.
People like I feel like that you shouldn't. That's what I tell my interns. I'm like, you guys shouldn't stick to one style. You need to learn everything because my sports portraits are so much different than my regular traditional, just regular senior photo portraits. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what makes me like I can basically do it all, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Okay, so you came back after all of that crazy traveling around, or you didn't come back? Like, how did you end up back here?
Well, so the whole story then starts afterwards. So Coach Deion Sanders, he was a NFL Hall of Famer, this and that. He was at a little tiny D1 HBCU school down in Florida, and he brought in this guy named Travis Hunter. Travis Hunter was at the time the number 1 ranked recruit in the country, and he's the number 3 all-time highest ranked football prospect, high school football player. So I emailed the Colorado Buffaloes, and I was like, hey, can I come shoot a game, this and that? And they were like, oh, I don't know if we can do that. And I'm like, oh, well, why? You guys only won 1 game this year. You guys are awful. You guys are terrible.
I'm sure that won them over.
You have nobody on the side. I didn't say that, but in my mind, I'm thinking, man, there's nobody.
Why would you not take the opportunity for free media?
And this guy said, just give me like a month. Email me back. So I'm thinking, dude, the season's over. You guys are terrible. And then the ESPN headlines, Deion Sanders going to Colorado. So I'm thinking, holy cow. I'm like freaking out. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is like crazy. So I emailed them back and they were like, we remember who you were. We remember when you wanted to come here. So then I brought my brother and one of my really good friends out to the first spring game out there. It was epic. And so Travis, I took some photos of him during the game and then I sent them to him on Instagram. So he had opened my message. And at the time, he only had like 400,000 followers, but he was still pretty famous. And then one day my brother, he's like, hey, I want you to go on YouTube real quick. I'm like, why is that? He's like, well, Travis Hunter posted your pictures as his thumbnail. I'm like, what are you talking about? I went on there. I seen the thumbnail on there. I'm like, holy cow, this is awesome. So then I come home from the Army and I traveled all over like when I was in the Army. I went to Alabama, LSU, Georgia, you name it. My little car, I feel so bad for it. I probably put 100,000 million miles on it. So, but then come from the army. I was all done with the army. Thank God. And then Travis Hunter posted on his story. He was like, "I'm looking for an engagement photographer in the Denver area." So I already had that direct line of communication open towards him. So like he wouldn't have to accept anything from me. So I messaged him. I said, "Hey, I'm available this date, this time. Let's do it." So I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, if he cancels and I book all this flights, hotels, I'm losing so much money. The risk paid off. Went out there, did his pictures, and when I posted them, it was kind of a shock to everybody because somebody from like this area shouldn't have been able to do that. If that makes sense, that's like it's just too high profile for somebody at that time. So
That's a really cool opportunity. What has happened with that now?
It's just gave me a bunch of connections to a lot more people. I've gotten to shoot Oregon, Ohio State. I've gotten to shoot Ohio State football. I've gotten to do March Madness, the NCAA Final Four that featured Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. That was a couple years ago. Penn State football. I've gotten to do, and then Colorado football, of course.
So what are your goals now? So you come back, you're doing Wayne County sports.
Yes.
So that has been, so if I understand correctly, when you were in high school and you started that, it was more like just posting the sports scores and keeping up on what was going on. And now it has switched to a lot of media. I mean, I see you at the Wayndale games, even if you don't like it.
No, it's really went to a whole new thing. I think it's more of like a business now than it just is a sports outlet because we do a lot of photo shoots for teams and stuff like that. And we do we're trying to bring a new media feel back into the area because.
Well, it's actually not covered a lot locally anymore.
Yeah.
So you're the connection with, like, for people to stay up on sports in this area. And so you have the goal of that locally, and then you're still looking for opportunities for like higher profile.
Oh yeah, all the time. But then like right now the fall it's really hard because I have a lot of seniors and they're wanting pictures done throughout the week, and like you got to kind of accommodate that. So sometimes it's hard to get out the games and stuff right now. But we have some really good partners and stuff that like are able to sponsor games, sponsor fun photo shoots for teams. So if like we had somebody come in and they sponsored Chippewa girls basketball for the last 2 years now. So they paid for a photo shoot for them last year and then this year now. Mm-hmm. So anonymous donors come in all the time. They're like, hey, we want this team to get this media coverage. We'll pay for this. Go interview them. Let the kids have a cool, fun time because I just feel like gotta figure out how I'm gonna say this. I just feel that from what I've heard from people is that school pictures are not the way to go anymore. Mm-hmm. It's a more media aspect because it's, number one, it's cheaper, I think. And I think spending money on something that you have no creativity or control over is bad. And for a prime example, we just had the Wayndale cheer team. And the girls really love that because they could see their picture, and if they don't like it, they can retake it, and they can do whatever they want. And they're not limited to anything. Obviously, certain limitations, mm-hmm. but they get the freedom and the control and the creativity.
Is that the only sports picture they had? Guys, I saw that I know some of the cheerleaders on that team. You're the only media team they had come in and do team pictures, or you did the normal ones and. Or you're not even sure.
Well, football, I did football too because I think football won a giveaway or something like that. Football won the giveaway, and then Wayndale, the cheer team, won it, and then the girls basketball team won it too. So, but the girls basketball team, they were clients last year. We came in, we had a heck of a time. The girls they're so fun, so nice, so respectful. So,
I feel like you're just so busy.
Me?
Like, yeah. How many interns do you have?
I have about 43.
What?
Yeah, I have about 43.
What? Where are they at?
So a lot of them, I wouldn't classify a lot of them as interns. I'd classify them as like mentors to people.
Okay.
Like we have a big,
like more like a coaching, like where you're giving them direction and feedback, or what does that look like?
We have a group chat where we all talk and stuff, and it's like there's like you can set like different skills of photographers in there. So like one set is like really, really good, and then you have the people who are just like kind of getting there, and then the other people are just getting started. So it's like a big community of people that like they can ask questions anytime. And the number one story I always tell people is I have this one girl. Her name's Emma. She goes to Loudonville. She's a senior this year. And last year, the Norway girls basketball team went on a big run down to the state championship game. So Emma, she reaches out to me about 6-7 days before the game, and she's like, "Hey, can I shoot the game with you, Ben?" I'm like, "Yeah, Emma, let's go. Let's do it. Just have your parents drop you off, whatever." And she shows up because she hurt her shoulder in a sling. It's like this, and I'm thinking, why the heck is she gonna? The whole time she's one hand in the camera, sling up, taking pictures. Like that's the stuff that like when I see people do that type of stuff, it instantly is like, okay, they're dogs.
They're having grit to go after it no matter what.
I have another kid. His name's Carson. He was from the Indian Valley area last year, and he I got him like in with this really good basketball team up in Cleveland, and he drove up there almost every game day, went all over for them, and he didn't get paid. He didn't get paid, but he did it because he wanted that exposure. Now he's the Massillon football videographer. So that stuff pays off. Then there's others in there that do a phenomenal job of what they do, but they answer questions for these people who might have a question, ask for like opinions on stuff, gear, stuff like that. And then that's like, it's just a big loving community. And I really truly honestly believe that if we had to talk about media teams in the state, I think that ours is definitely one of the most helpful, respectful groups in the whole state.
Okay, so you're running a media team.
Yep.
You are doing senior photos.
Yep.
You're doing local sports photography, and then you're looking for high profile, like media opportunities as well.
I also go to school.
What?
Yeah.
When are you home? Ever?
About 9 p.m. to about 6 a.m. Normally, maybe 10, 11. So.
What are you going to school for?
Did digital media and journalism.
Where are you going?
I go to AU, Ashland.
Okay.
So I'm about to be a senior after this semester, and then
you'll be graduated.
Yeah,
ready to go. You didn't feel like you learned everything already? Like it was a little reversed, right?
Yeah, but when the Army gives you the money to go,
yeah,
you might as well just go. So like I got all that, and then so actually to follow up on that, when I was in the Army, I became a photographer. I don't ever consider myself a combat photographer because I was never deployed, but that's what it says on the title, combat photographer. But I just go as like a photographer. Since then, the job's been discontinued, so it's not a real job anymore. But I was like one of the last people to have the actual title, and you got to wear a patch that said photo, and that was like really rare for people.
Okay, and you only do photos now. You don't do videography.
Oh, I do photos, videos, wedding videos. Like,
so you decided you didn't hate video anymore.
If I get paid the right amount of money, that's the only like wedding videos I've done probably 40, 30 of them this summer, and it's been just nonstop work. I got one on Saturday, and then I got one next Saturday, and the next Saturday. So it's just nonstop. But it's a blessing though, because I'd rather have that than be at home sitting there and trying to figure out where my next money is going to come from. Like
right.
So
you're busy.
Yeah.
When you came in, I said you even have your own branding, and you said you have branding everything. So tell me about that. What does that look like? You go like you got Ben Nichols photography all over everything that you own.
Actually no, because the kids are kind of weird in this area. They're kind of obsessive sometimes. And like I had a toilet dropped in my yard from the Hillsdale kids last year for like a raffle that they like a fun
for shooting the opposite team.
No, it was a fundraiser they were doing, and like you could drop a toilet in somebody's yard, and then you have to pay them like to remove the toilet. So, but like I try not to go out in public wearing like my stuff, because I mean like the Wayne County Sports, I'll be at B-dubs or something, and then some kid will come up and be like, "Oh, can I take a selfie or something?" I'm like, dude, I'm trying to eat, man. And like, but like. I try not to like promote like myself too much. I'd rather promote like the kids I have and stuff, and make sure like it all gets to them, because at the end of the day, it's all about them. So how old are you? You're really young. 22.
Okay, so you've accomplished a lot.
I'm 22.
How old are you?
47.
No, you're not.
Nah, I'm 22.
I'm 43, so I know you're not 47. What's next? Like, you've done a lot in a short period of time. Like, that is definitely a testament to your hustle and kind of just going out and getting, taking a lot of challenges on. Like, what's 10 years from now look like for you?
So we're climbing Mount Everest in 2027. So that's going to be pretty cool. And then
you're serious?
I'm serious. Yeah. Oh, I'm 100% serious. We just announced over the summer. And then we're trying to go up into space. We really want to get there by like 2035 and do some senior pictures up there. That's what we're kind of working towards now.
Okay.
So it's a lot of stuff. Then we're working on like a school violence documentary. We've been working on that for 2 years now. So we got the one time we went out to Colorado, we got to go to Columbine High School. We got to hear some stories from some people there. So we've been working on that, and that's like one of those really impactful stories that like I haven't promoted it too much because it's like something that like I work like kind of underneath the table. I don't want anybody to know until like I'm ready to like, because it's a very controversial,
Yeah.
really sad subject. So,
Mm-hmm.
but other than that, the whole plan is one day, I couldn't even tell you. I'm just worried about.
Sky's the limit.
I'm just worried about tomorrow. Tomorrow I got senior pictures, and then at 6:30 I got class today, and so it's like I'm just worried. I just want to make sure all my interns get their games on Friday. If they want to go shoot a game, they're going. They're happy. Everybody's happy. I just want everybody to be happy every day.
One day, 1 week at a time. Well, I'll catch up with you in 10 years and we'll see where you're actually at, because if you could accomplish this much, then I can only imagine what it might be at that time. Or maybe you'll slow down because maybe you'll decide you want to settle down by then. Who knows?
Well, the whole Mount Everest thing, that's like, I'm not really planning anything until after we get down from the mountain. So like, it's kind of like, I have a lot of weddings booked right now, but I have like deposits I had to like put in different accounts because if I don't make it back or something happens, then,
That's wild.
Yeah. So that's like, we're kind of planning on like, if I'm to pass away when that happens, that people can continue. They won't have to worry about finding a photographer. And anybody who books after it's June 1st, 2027, I have a disclaimer. It's like, we're climbing Mount Everest. If I die, you're going to get your deposit back. But like,
wow,
so,
that is like an interesting client contract to have. How are you training for that? What does that look like?
So there was this guy that I met in the Army. He was kind of this like really crazy dude, and he kind of talked about him climbing mountains and stuff, and I didn't really think anything of it. And then I was home, and he called me one day, and I thought it was really, really weird. I'm like, what the heck does this guy want? And he's like, hey, I'm coming up to Ohio soon. Can I see you? I'm like, bro, I'm not even in Ohio. I'm out in Seattle right now. I'm doing something. He's like, well, I got a proposal for you. And then he said, Mount Everest, this is the money you're getting paid. I need all this stuff. So this was like 2 years ago. And then like we started to get the paperwork going, and we finally got it done, finalized. That's when like, so it's kind of like I'm not really supposed to talk too much about it. It's supposed to be like a really private thing, but like this, like I can tell people that we're going and all that stuff. So it's going to be pretty interesting.
You can't talk about like how you're training for it.
Oh, that's just easy. That's just, you just go and you put the oxygen mask on, just walk up a flight of stairs, but then you have to get accumulated to the air and everything in the altitude. So it's kind of, you can't really do that. I have this machine at home that like when I sleep, it like you put it over your nose and it like kind of simulates what it's like to basically like be at that high altitude, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So when I wake up in the morning, it's like I can breathe. It like, it's awesome. So awesome.
I ran one marathon, trained for one marathon. It was the hardest thing ever physically. So like, that's why I'm like, climbing Mount Everest seems like a little bit crazy. There's got to be a lot of training that goes into that.
I mean, we went out to Washington. I went out and did Mount Rainier this past May. That was only like 12,000 feet. I mean, it wasn't nothing, but it was pretty easy. We got up and down, and it was just like, it was easy. But like, I don't think that we still got like, it'll be about a year and
how many
April.
feet is it? I don't even know.
28,000.
Okay. So double.
Yeah, a little bit of a double. So, but I think we should be all right. I think that it's become such a tourist thing now that they take a bunch of safety precautions, and like they have the Sherpas there that'll take care of you, all that really good stuff.
Okay, well, I wish you luck on that one. We'll stay tuned, stay along on the ride, and good luck to all the clients who are giving you deposits for in case you don't make it back.
Well, I've been trying not to book weddings by then, so like it's kind of like I'm kind of holding off on that right now. So it's like, but the last time we were supposed to do it back in May of 2026, but the weather forecast that like they put out, I don't know how they can pre-plan that, but they said it's going to be too cold still there, so they pushed it back 2027, and then that's when like we're worried that it's going to get pushed back. If it gets pushed back one more time, we have to cancel and we have to get our money back and all that stuff. And so it's one of those situations where it's kind of like, you can pay all this money, but if they tell you can't go, then we're not going to take the risk to fly out there and like get all the gear there and do all the basic, just the 12
Right.
mile, all that stuff. That's too much. So
Interesting. All right. Do you have a favorite, like other than the highlight project, do you have any favorite projects you've worked on over the last couple of years?
yeah. Okay, so number one, there's this girl from Manchester High School over in Akron. She was a state wrestling champion. She was this like demon. Like I'm not gonna lie to you. She was a demon. Her name is Jaden, and she was kind of like this tomboy girl. And I met her through this girl from Tuslaw who was her cousin, and she said, "Hey, there's this really good girls wrestler. You should go check her out sometime." Like, I don't really care. Manchester's not in our area. I could care less. Well, then started looking some stuff up about her. I'm like, holy crap, this girl's really good. So then I texted her one day. I said, hey, we're looking to do some senior pictures. If you're interested, she said, oh yeah, I'm interested. But this girl, the way like she gives off like her face and stuff, she's like a real tough girl, but her voice is like really squeaky and like it just doesn't match who like she is. So I got involved with her, and we kind of developed this really good like photographer relationship, and we did all these photo shoots with her, and then we went down to state, and we like followed her throughout the state tournament run, and when she won state, was down there, come back, finished all the photos for her, and then we put some blood on her face and made it look all cool. That's the best senior picture I've ever taken still. Like it was awesome. And then she won state, and now she's down at Rio Grande, so when they come up to wrestle Mount Union, I'm gonna go up there and take some pictures of her, and she's one of those seniors you can't forget. Just can't.
Yeah, I think I remember when she won state, actually. I remember
it was,
seeing, I didn't realize it was your media, but I remember seeing pictures. That's awesome.
Yep. Her parents, super, super nice too. Super, super, super nice. Super nice people.
I will be also interested to like see how one day you get to hear from people how you are impactful to them the way that people have been impactful to you, like with this internship program, and just like the amount that it sounds like your connections with people, the connections with even remembering the photography situations, but these interns, like that's a really cool story from a young person to hear how much you're pouring into other people. And like, I just appreciate hearing that.
Yeah, I think that I don't like when like my other like photographers, they like kind of say thank you to me. I don't like that. I just want them just to go and just be great and do what they got to do. I just would rather them just be happy and them shooting them, because like I had this one kid one time, he invited me in for his senior presentation. He's like, oh, I want you there when I present. I'm like, okay. And like he's trying to tell them how great. I don't like that. I just rather just be happy that they're doing what they're doing. Just leave me out of it. Spotlight. I'll help you as much as you can. Whatever you need, critiques, opinions, whatever. I just don't want no light on me. I just want them kids just to be happy and just do what they want to do. So.
But I think that you might have a calling on you for that impact. And one day, maybe you'll look back. And it's not about saying, oh, this is all about me, I did a good job. But like God's calling on your life.
Exactly. Amen.
On your life.
I love that.
So your ability to, be used in that way, and the impact that you have, the ripple effect. I mean, this is what you learn. So I'm 20 years older than you. You learn to look back at those situations in life, and it's not about you, but you can say, oh, this was really bad. This is why I learned through this situation, but this is also really good. I can see how God was using me here. Exactly. But I hope that I hope I had the impact that God wanted me to have. So I think that we'll stay tuned with your story, and I can't wait to just kind of follow along and see more.
I just think that also that I think Jesus Christ is the greatest thing that's ever happened to me. I truly, honest to God, believe that, and I believe that everything He's done for me is one of the greatest things that I could ever be thankful for. Every night I pray, thankful for my grandparents, thankful for everything God's done for me, whether it be good or bad. I don't think that He's never let me burn yet, and I'm very thankful for that. And He's been, I could tell you so many mentors and everything, but without praying to God, asking Him questions, guidance, advice, none of this is possible. Taking risks, being scared. So God's really done an amazing work with my life.
I did a little bit of homework on you beforehand, and you are pretty, like, you share your faith.
Oh yeah.
You're kind of like, that's a prominent part of who you are, and I do appreciate it. So not only do you have a platform to like shape other people behind you doing what you're doing, you're also sharing your faith. And that's just a really great like connection. It's good to see any young person you're standing up for what you believe in. So I appreciate that. Thanks for sharing it and, doing what God has called you to do.
But the one thing that God's also taught me is that another thing also the Army taught me, Army and God, is that I look at people a lot different now. Like, I don't care if you're a Muslim, atheist, Buddhist, whatever you want to be. I don't care if you're lesbian, gay, straight. I don't care. As long as everybody's happy, I can work with any person. Because in the Army, I had to work with all different peoples from walks of life, from religion, sexual orientation, stuff like that. That stuff just doesn't affect me anymore like most people. I don't care if anybody's politics, whatever you believe, I don't care. Like, as long as you're a good human and not a piece of shit, like, you're just good in my book. I don't care anymore. Like, I would never force religion or sexual orientation on somebody because I wouldn't want somebody to do that to me. Mm-hmm. And that's like the respect that I have, because we have some photographers in our group that are different religions, different sexual orientations, and they come to me, they ask me for advice, and I'm like, well, here's what I think. And this is my advice. But then they listen to that. And that's the best part, is because I don't want to ever feel like I'm pushing an agenda on people. Even though that I'm a Christian, I love Jesus, I will go to the grave saying that. I can still work with others. I know some people have like a hard time doing that. Me, I could work with everybody, no matter what.
That's what Jesus did.
Exactly.
When he was here, he loved people.
Yep.
He was condemned for doing that. So they didn't understand why he was hanging out with the people he was hanging out with, right? But that's what he's actually called us to do. So even more of a bigger blessing to see that being displayed in your group, in your connections, in your influence. So okay, tell everybody where they can check you out. Like, where do we go find out all the things that you're doing?
You can check me out at Ben Nichols Media on Instagram, Wayne County Sports on Facebook. You can see all the dads get mad on there every Saturday. We post the football rankings. They get mad and they start like, no. But you can find anywhere: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. We don't really use Twitter that much.
On TikTok?
No.
What?
No, I don't. I can't get TikTok. I just can't understand it too well.
Oh, girl.
I'm just one of those people. So
it's my favorite. So
I never really got into it too much. So
maybe we'll get you one day. All right. Well, everybody check out Ben Nichols Media. He's got a ton of really cool content out there. If you are local, he does do a lot of local sports content. I really appreciate you being along with the show.
It was a pleasure.
Thanks for that honest conversation. Thanks for tuning in to Torch Talk. If today's story sparks something in you, share it with a colleague, community leader, or future change maker. Until next time, stay inspired, stay intentional, and keep your fire burning.